What is up, folks? It is Anthony with the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel, and of course, this is Wednesday. It's October 3rd. It is actually 11:26 a.m., and not only that, but here's the thing, guys. I tried to delay the show because there's hella noise. Job arrived at the exact same time I was about to start the show, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm not really ready for the show anyway, so let me go ahead and delay it and try to get the worst of Job out of the equation. But he's still here. He's still here. He's still banging away. Man, I got to tell you guys, I'm going to talk about Job for just a second here, because for the longest time, this guy would always arrive at like 9:30, 9:45, 10 a.m., 10:15. That's typically when he would arrive, and he'd only be here for about 35 minutes and then he would be gone. And we used to do this show, like back when we first started, we were doing this show at 10 a.m. We haven't been at 11 a.m. forever. We were doing the show at 10 a.m. and Job was always like coming during the show. And when we moved it to 11 a.m., I thought that was one of the bonuses. But now Job just keeps coming later and later and later. So I tried to delay for quite a bit of it. Also, I hadn't made an intro trailer, so I figured might as well make an intro trailer, maybe grab a couple of miscellaneous trailers and things and kind of check news a little bit. So I thought I'd do a little bit of that. Sorry for the delay. My apologies there. Might as well go ahead and run the intro, I guess. Let's see here. Went ahead and made one, so might as well run it. Yeah, so this, of course, is the VR Game Rankings YouTube channel. It is the Daily Vlog Live, episode 220, and it is Wednesday, October 3rd, 2018. Rather loud. I don't know if you guys can hear this. I know a lot of you guys can't hear this, but you probably can hear that. You probably can hear that. That's pretty loud. I think most people could hear that. But I edit this thing with headphones, and sometimes when I'm watching it later to do the timestamps, I'm watching it like a normal, regular person with headphoons, and I hear the airplanes, I hear the garbage trucks, but maybe it's because I know that they're there, and so I'm like waiting for it. Dude, that's loud as can be. You guys can't hear that? That is loud as hell. I thought I would outlive most of that. I thought the 25-minute delay would get rid of most of it, but oh well, it's not gonna happen. Okay, so let me go ahead and switch up this trailer here as it gets louder and louder. Yeah, buddy, quite loud. Let's see, what can we put on? Dead Effect 2. I'll throw that trailer on. Probably really dark though. But yeah, so anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get into today's show. So first off, I want to talk a little bit about the whole Astro Bot thing yesterday, because you know what? I went overboard. I went way overboard. I think when I played Astro Bot for about 25 minutes right before the show, it gave I was in a high. You know, I was in a euphoria coming out of Astro Bot and starting the show, and you know what? I was a little bit overblown. I was definitely overblown. And I can tell you why I know that I was overblown, because what happened was later in the day, I did have to run a ton of errands and I did have to handle that. But I got back and I was waiting for something to download or render or whatever. And I threw the headset on and I played more of Astro Bot, and I got to some additional levels of Astro Bot. And I still think it's incredible. I still think it's an amazing game. But I don't know that I should have put it up there with Fallout 4 VR, you know, and Lone Echo and Skyrim and Talos Principle. I don't know, man. I don't know that it's quite there. But what I will say, here's what I will say about Astro Bot. It is a top 5, absolutely top 5 PlayStation VR game. It's probably the best PlayStation VR game, but I could see somebody putting it up there with Wipeout VR, with Resident Evil 7, with Skyrim VR on PlayStation VR, and Astro Bot, and there might be one other one I'm missing that I can't remember right now, but basically it's in the Firewall 0 Hour. Firewall 0 Hour. So Firewall, Wipeout, Skyrim, Astro Bot, those are the top 5 PlayStation VR games. And I do feel like Astro Bot absolutely is a top 5 PlayStation VR game. Quite possibly the best PlayStation VR game. I still love it. Oh my God, man. I've gotten to some amazing levels where, you know, I got to the underwater level where he's swimming around underwater. It's just so beautiful. The sharks and the dolphins and stuff. Oh my goodness. It is absolutely awesome. So I absolutely love Astro Bot. But when I was editing, or when I was adding timestamps for the videos last night and I was watching some of those rants I went on, I was like way overboard. I was way overboard because I was watching. I'm like, oh my God, I'm saying Astro Bot is like the single best VR game ever. And it's not quite that. I don't think it's quite that. But Job is a bit distracting here. So I'm going to turn up the volume of this trailer real quick. And let's see here. Yeah, it's hard. It's kind of hard to do a show when it's so damn loud in the background right now. Hopefully Job will be soon, because I delayed this show. I straight up delayed this show by 25 minutes. I delayed this show by 25 minutes, but I guess he was in the front yard most of those 25 minutes. And now he's right here by the door. It kind of sucks. But anyway, so let's go back into chat. We can see what folks are talking about in chat in relation to Astro Bot. Okay, so Chris Gould says Astro Bot is magic, but still Wipeout for me. So he puts Wipeout VR #1, but Astro Bot is right there. And Chevy says a very short honeymoon, a quick annulment. Yeah, yesterday I was saying that this is the honeymoon of all honeymoons. Like you're in Tahiti, you know, and it's just this incredible honeymoon, right? I'm still in the honeymoon phase, and I still love the game. I can tell you right now, I haven't reviewed the game. I'm not ready to review the game, but the score is going to start with the number 9. The score is going to start with a 9, and it's going to have another digit next to it. I don't know what that other digit is, but I can tell you it's a 9 already, and I'm probably like 2 hours into the game, maybe. Got a ton of different levels I could possibly go through. So I'm still loving Astro Bot. The honeymoon period has worn off to a tad bit. It has. And I mean, it's still a great game. It's just, I know I just went too far overboard. I just went way overboard. I was just acting kind of crazy yesterday. I'm surprised people haven't like made memes out of that or something, because I was just ridiculous. It sucks too, because for a moment in time, that's how I actually feel. But like months from now, someone's going to see that video and they're going to be like, man, this guy was really in love with Astro Bot. And I am in love with Astro Bot, but I don't know that I could put it as like the top 5 VR game overall. Maybe, I don't know. Got to play more. Okay, so anyways, yeah, Jim Hall says, you hyped the hell out of it for 30 minutes straight. That's what I mean. That's why I'm coming on here, and I'm quite embarrassed. I'm as embarrassed as Jeremy Horowitz was embarrassed for a number of days there. And then I was saying, dude, we owe Jeremy Horowitz an apology. Maybe we don't. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's really one of those things. But I guess this is just an example on video for how hyped you can get for something, you know, and then you can kind of come back down to earth a little bit. I think what it is those first 20 minutes in Astro Bot, I was in that construction level. And that construction level just looks so freaking good. Those of you guys in chat that have played the construction level, tell me what's up with that, because I'm saying the construction level is beautiful. Maybe the music in the construction level as well. Something was just so magical about that construction level. And that's just what I came out of. That's exactly what I came out of right when I did the show. And so I was just on that euphoria. And as I continue to play it, the thing that sets in, the reality that does set in, is this reality that this is awesome. This is awesome, but I kind of know what it is. I kind of know what it is. It's still a 3D platformer. It's still very much like a Ratchet and Clank, a Spyro, a Super Mario 64. It's a 3D platformer that has been taken to a completely other level in VR. Really has been taken to a completely other level in VR. Let me actually throw on the Astro Bot trailer one more time here. Because it might show some of the levels that I did get to yesterday as I continue to play it, and it might remind me a little bit about some of the gameplay aspects, because some of the gameplay aspects is really cool in this game. They take your controller, they have these boxes that you'll encounter. I got to that level. I got to the beach. How beautiful and sunny and the sunshine of the beach. That level is really cool right there. I was in that level with the vines. It's kind of Jack and the Beanstalk basically, and there's a number of these plants, and you have to use your controller. You use your controller to spray water at some of these plants, and then it causes the plants to grow or to open up or to do something. I did this level too, where you go underwater. So adorable, so cute, just absolutely wonderful. You know, a beautiful thing. And then whenever you finish a level, you take Astro Bot and you flick him back and you try to shoot him through these rings to get some extra points. It's very Mario-like. This has all the polish. You know that Nintendo magic that everybody talks about, where people talk about, like, Nintendo and Disney are these two companies that have this special kind of magic that you can't describe. And Disney has it, and Nintendo has it. But when you play this game, you feel a similar kind of magic as far as that goes. So, I mean, this still is an absolute wonderful game. I just got to that level, which looks kind of Utah-ish. Haven't seen this yet. Have not seen that yet. So I haven't really been like rushing my way through it, but I did play a bunch more of it last night. I still love it. It's just adorable. It's absolutely adorable. I did put my wife in it, by the way. I put my wife in the game, and I put her in the level where it was underwater, and you're controlling the little guy. Okay, so here's spoilers. If anybody is going to play Astro Bot in the very, very near future, and you have not gotten to the level where he starts swimming, here is a major spoiler, because this is one of the most adorable, cutest moments of the game so far. But those of you that played Astro Bot, oh man, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so when he first starts swimming, he's underwater. It's straight Super Mario World. You know, it's straight Super Mario Brothers 3, like the little guy underwater, and you tap it, and he's swimming, right? Well, you have him swim up above you, and then let him fall into your face. Just let him crash right into your face. And it is so freaking adorable what happens after that. Man, just a lot of magical stuff that they're doing here with Astro Bot. So an amazing game, Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't belong with Fallout 4 VR. You know, maybe it doesn't belong with Lone Echo, but it does belong with Wipeout. It does belong with Wipeout. It does belong with Resident Evil 7. It does belong with Firewall 0 Hour. It belongs with the absolute best Skyrim VR, the best PlayStation VR games there are. This is without question top 5. There's just no question about it. Okay, so let's move on to something else. Let me see if I can find an in-depth trailer. I don't have one lined up, but I'm sure I have an in-depth trailer on here somewhere. Now, okay, in-depth Paradise Lost. So the other thing that happened yesterday, or one of the other big things that happened yesterday, was this major update for in-depth. And you guys know, like, if you've watched this show for any amount of time, you know how much I'm into in-depth. I love in-depth. I call this the gamer's game. It is such a gamer's game because it's all about the mechanics. It's all about playability. This is a game like, you know how they call it Twitch gameplay on like Pancake style? But this is Twitch VR gameplay, because just the way you use your bow, the way you line your bow up, how much height you give it, how much of a pull you give on it, just how you use your bow, how you move around, how you use your teleporting shard, it is so incredibly critical. And in-depth is such a gamer's game. And so when I heard that it's, you know, it's coming out of early access, it has this major update and all this stuff, So I went into In Death last night. I didn't notice anything special. I really didn't notice anything special. Like there was nothing that stood out to me about the game. Now, maybe I didn't play it long enough. Maybe I randomly didn't have certain things generated that would have shown me some slightly different stuff. I mean, it was basically like what I'm trying to say here is I played it yesterday and I didn't notice any real difference from when I played it maybe 4 months ago. I didn't see like these tiles on the ground there. Like I didn't see anything that looked like that. I didn't have any flying enemies that came at me. And I played for a while. I survived for a while. You know how there's the leaderboard, right, for In Death? I was in like 256 or something. I came in at 256 on my first play. I survived for a long, long time before dying. And, you know, I wasn't in the top 10, I wasn't in the top 20, top 100, but there's thousands of people on there, and I hit 256. It says VR Game Rankings, 256, something like that. But I didn't see anything new, really. Like, I didn't get the crossbow, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm kind of wondering, like, was there some special patch that didn't download for some reason? Do I need to delete In Death and re-download it? I don't feel like I'm playing this out of early access version. It seemed exactly the same. It was really fun. I had a great time. In Death is a great game, period. But didn't notice much of a difference there. So that is In Death. Okay, so one thing I want to check out. Oh wait, Crunchy is saying the crossbow looks overpowered. And Paradise Decay says, I remember when Anthony was slagging In Death off months ago before he got addicted. I'm a big fan of In Death. I've been a fan of In Death for quite some time. I got completely addicted to this. But maybe at the very beginning when I Oh, you know what? I was talking smack about it when I saw the video and I saw the Brookhaven zombies. I was talking major smack about how they're using Brookhaven zombies. I thought it was another crappy game where they're still, you know, they're using a lot of the same assets that everybody else was. And so when I first saw the trailer of In Death, I didn't give it much love. Then I got my hands on the game and I was like, damn, these fools killed it, and I fell in love with it. But I haven't seen the crossbow. I haven't seen any of this new stuff, so I'm not sure what has to happen for me to finally get into that. But anyway, what I will do is, you know what, guys? There's been lots of talk about the Cybershoes thing, and I don't know diddly. I know nothing. I know nada about this whole Cybershoes thing. So let's go ahead. I'm going to check out this Kickstarter video for the first time.
Stretches the boundaries of our own reality. One of the limits we face when entering this world is movement. We wanted the experience to feel as real as possible, so we created Cybershoes. Cybershoes bring your feet back into the game, letting you navigate your games using your feet rather than your hands. Running from the comfort of your own chair lets you keep your normal seated position, but opens up a more natural way to trek the paths of your favorite games. We managed to keep the design as simple as possible, while integrating inside tracking with analog movement detection. The shoes keep their own orientation. You can run, walk, sneak, and jump using the shoes, giving you the most accuracy in navigating a game ever. We have been through countless.
I'm going to grab some water real quick. Be right back.
But now we have a product that runs more stable than the VR system itself. Slip on another pair of shoes and sign into the game. The seated position makes multiplayer in VR feel like there are no walls in the room at all. Cybershoes are one size fits all. Slip on over your regular shoes and secure to your feet with bindings, just like a snowboard, to ensure that the game picks up exactly what your feet are doing at all times.
We emulate the touchpad of the controller, so now it's playable with all the games that are already featuring some movement. There's this big virtual reality out there and you can't walk it.
I'm an early adopter of VR and I love the possibilities it offers. But I was so
Okay, you know what? I have seen this. I have seen the Cybershoes thing. And I really haven't commented on this or like talked about this or gotten hyped on it or anything like that. And the reality with this Cybershoes thing, for me personally, like this kind of product, I know it's kind of cool. And I'm sure in certain circumstances, and you know, you have a swivel chair like that with nothing anywhere, and you're using these shoes, I can see how it makes a lot of sense for certain things, but for me, I stand up. Like the whole point of VR for me is standing up and having my feet on the ground. Like this doesn't provide any kind of a solution to me. I know that for people that don't care about standing up and they don't care about the immersion, they just want it. Like, there's plenty of people. There's people that will play Fallout 4 VR sitting down in a chair or Skyrim sitting down in a chair. And to me, that is the most bizarro thing ever. It's like, I want to be completely surrounded by a world. I want to be inside a world, and I want to stand up. So sitting down doesn't make any sense. The only games I'm ever going to play sitting down are like cockpit style games where you're supposed to be sitting down, and then you don't really need. So I don't get this. This doesn't, like, I would never want to play Arizona Sunshine like that. Now, there's people out there that they don't give a damn. They don't need to stand up. That maybe they stand up for a while, but they really don't need to stand up anymore after that. And I can see how this works. I mean, you can see people playing Skyrim and all this stuff. So it's not terrible, and I'm sure there's a market of people out there this will work for, but for me, this is a complete non-starter. I don't get this. Like, somebody explain this to me. Okay, so Paradise Decay says, I'm not a fan of external devices. Maybe that's why I'm happy with just my Rift and hyped for Quest. Well, you know what I will say towards that, as far as what you're saying, Paradise Decay, is if something doesn't come with the platform right away, you're just going to get limited support. It's always going to be a little bit sketch. And that's why I am hyped about the Quest as well, because everybody gets what's included. And then you know everybody has that wireless capability. Everybody has what that has. VRium says you would have to put Vive Tracker for 1-to-1 on each foot. Well, you know, one cool thing about this, though, is well, no, I was going to say, what if it gave you foot presence? That would be kind of cool. But again, you're sitting down. The sitting down thing just doesn't work for me. I'm sorry, I don't understand this. Main Fan says, I work with a guy who has a Vive and gets motion sickness with Free Loco. This is for people like him. Yeah, I understand that. There's people out there, they don't care about standing up. Like the whole standing up immersion thing, they're like, yeah, it's kind of immersive, but yeah, I'd just like to sit down. Like, it's not a big deal for them. I understand. There's plenty of people like that. For me, I want the immersion, and I want to stand up, and I want to move around. And you know what I really want? I mean, forget the goddamn shoes. What we really need is we need some kind of Kinect-like device that is putting our physical bodies in the game. That'll help a lot of people with motion sickness as well. I think part of the motion sickness thing is you only see your hands and then you have your head. What if your full body was in the game? Don't you think that would reduce a lot of motion sickness for a lot of people if they really saw their chest, their arms, their torsos, their legs, and if it was moving relatively accurately and looked pretty accurate? I don't know. This idea of sitting down doesn't work for me, so I'm not into this. VRium says treadmill is a better solution. Crunchy says treadmill is also unnatural. Yeah, none of this shit is going to be natural. The only thing that's natural is, I wonder, the future of VR. Think about this, guys. The future of VR. Gigantic parking lots. Gigantic parking lots, just level concrete as far as the eye can see. How freaking dystopian would this be? You want a Black Mirror episode? I got a Black Mirror episode for you. Okay, so let's go 30 years into the future. 30 years into the future, your automatic car drives you out to the middle of freaking nowhere where there is a giant concrete parking lot as far as the eye can see, and you put your headset on and you just go walking, and there's thousands of other people out there walking around doing their thing as well. And if they get too close to you randomly, somehow if they get too close to you, they're just a character in your game that is getting that close to you, or an enemy or something that will you know, you'll get some type of knowledge to know to avoid them or whatever. But that's kind of the future of movement in VR. That's the only natural, real movement in VR, is that you just take off walking. You're physically walking and going everywhere. Now, the problem is you're not going to have the tables and the chairs and all of that. So ultimately, we're going to have to get beyond. We're just basically going to have to go straight into the damn brain, which is kind of like what Palmer Luckey was talking about and a little bit of what Elon Musk was talking about. But who's going to volunteer to do that? Like, when they do eventually go right into your brain, like, it's kind of like LASIK surgery. Did anybody get LASIK surgery in the first 2, 3, 4 years it was available? I've never gotten LASIK surgery. I don't wear glasses and I don't need glasses or contacts or anything like that. But when LASIK surgery first happened, like, a lot of people didn't run out there and go do it right away. They're like, oh, you're going to freaking beam lasers right into my eyes? I want to wait till it's proven a little bit before I jack right into my head. But yeah, so I don't know. This sitting down thing is a bit of a non-starter for me. All right, so, you know, I do have a trailer for something that came out yesterday. This is Drunkn Bar Fight Halloween. It's not really a trailer. It's more like a gameplay clip. Let's check this out for a sec.
Halloween as a kid. But now that I'm older, the local bars seem like the best option. Except the costumes made it hard for me to recognize the usual derelicts. And after a while, they started to get on my nerves. I might have taken it a bit too far. I can only take so much from other people. I should have just stayed at home with the porch light off.
All right, so that is Drunkn Bar Fight, the Halloween version. Personally, I think they released this a little bit too early. Like, I think they should have waited like maybe a week before Halloween. I think would be a little bit better for them to do this. But I have Drunkn Bar Fight. I've played it. It's a curious game. It's an interesting game, but I mean, I'm not that into it. Now, the cool thing about it, though, I'm going to bounce over to the Steam page real quick, is you can get the Drunkn Bar Fight, just the pure Halloween version, for $3. So if you just want this kind of isolated experience, it's pretty much just basically one bar area, and it's the zombie mode, the Drunkn Bar Fight Halloween mode, for $3. It could give you a pretty good taste of what Drunkn Bar Fight is all about for that $3 price. You're just not going to get all these other levels that they've added at other points. So it's just kind of this simple version, one level bar without multiplayer. And so, like, if you get the full Drunkn Bar Fight, you have multiple levels, you have multiplayer and that. And you can get the combined bundle for $11.23. My real question, though, is, for those of us that have regular Drunkn Bar Fight, will we get this as a free update? And I don't know about that. I don't know if we have to pay extra for this as DLC, or is this going to come to us as a free update? But this is Drunkn Bar Fight. I feel like the physics and stuff for Drunkn Bar Fight is very similar to Thrill of the Fight. It's basically like if the guy that made Thrill of the Fight made a barroom brawl simulator out of the Thrill of the Fight engine. That's what it kind of reminds me of. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting, but you know, it's kind of one of these games that it's more of a comedy, screw around kind of a thing, play around with the physics kind of thing. Not the greatest in the world. I mean, I don't think I'm not putting this in my top 100 VR games. Drunkn Bar Fight's not going to be in my top 100 personally. You know what's funny though, as I go over to this web browser window, there's this one guy, that guy with the red shirt. They're not showing him now, but he's the one guy that guy with the red shirt back there. He's the guy, this guy right here. He's the guy I really like to pummel with a beer bottle. There's something very cathartic or whatever about smashing people with beer bottles and stuff. It does feel pretty good. Okay, so let's see. I think I have one other trailer to get into. So this game is called Visage, and I believe this is like a spiritual successor of PT, that one PlayStation demo that never ended up being anything. And there's a VR mode that's coming to this. Let's just check this trailer out. Just what we need, another horror game. So this game is currently available right now, and the big deal about this game is it's basically about as close as you could get to PT as you possibly could get, but maybe even better in terms of this world that you're exploring, which looks really, really cool. The ratings are very good on this game right now for the pancake version. And supposedly there is a VR version of this that is going to be coming in the not too distant future, but I don't know how quickly we're going to get the VR version of this. But does anybody remember PT? Was that very early in the PlayStation 4 days? Like when PlayStation 4 first came out, there was a demo called PT that everybody loved. It was so freaking creepy. Oh man, I remember playing that like on my huge projector screen back there, and it would scare the crap out of you. If you played it in the dark, PT, like people couldn't handle that game, but I love that. But PT in VR would be freaking, oh man, that would be almost too terrifying. That's kind of what Transference can be like at certain times, actually. But anyway, let's go ahead and check out this Steam page over here. So if you see the Steam page for Visage, this came out October 2nd, yesterday. It's very positive. It already has 107 reviews. Sad Square Studio, never heard of them. The normal price for this is $25, but you can grab it for $20. And VR is eventually coming, but I don't know when. I don't know when VR is coming. But this does, like this, exploring this kind of thing in VR. Here's some of the screenshots. Here's some of the weirdos that you're going to be dealing with. That would be pretty creepy in VR. So yeah, that looks pretty freaking creepy. So all of this looks like it would be pretty cool in VR. Very creepy, kind of Exorcist-ish a little bit. We've got a lot of horror games, though, that are very similar to this. We've kind of are a bit overwhelmed with horror games. And then, yeah, Allison's Road got canceled. Crunchy says, oh, yeah, PT was really cool. Yeah, we've just got so many damn horror games. Vrium says, horror never been my thing in cinema or game. I don't like the devil type stuff as far as like the horror genre. I don't like it when they get into like the satanic type stuff. But other than that, I'm pretty much cool with horror. And there's some incredible horror movies. I mean, there's some absolutely amazing horror movies over all the years. But anyway, let's see. I don't have any other trailers to throw on at the moment. So I'll just go ahead and throw a Twilight Path trailer on. So did anybody end up picking up Twilight Path? What did you guys think of it? I mean, I talked about this at the end of the show yesterday. I didn't get a chance to go back into this and finally put it to bed because I know I have to be like way, way at the end of Twilight Path. No question about it, because I'm well over an hour and probably 20 minutes into this game. So it has to be over very soon if all these reviews like Road to VR and Upload VR say that it's barely over an hour of content. I'm not sure why I'm in there for about an hour and 25 minutes and I still haven't finished it, but maybe I do like to savor things a little bit more. But I liked it. 1274, I think it's a great game. It's a terrible time. This is a terrible time for Twilight Path because we've got we don't need a new game right now. That's kind of the downside right here, is that there's so many good games that are swamping us. I mean, Astro Bot just hit. It's been quite ridiculous, really, if you think about it. There's so many good VR games. Now that, you know, you add Astro Bot into all the other great games we've got recently, like Windlands 2, like Creed, Transference. So many good games. You add Astro Bot in there as well, and games just continue to hammer us. We've got Evasion coming out next Tuesday, which is a really big one. So it's a crowded field right now. It is a crowded field. Vox Machina as well. You know, Vox Machina, another primetime game. But $13, not a bad deal for Twilight Path. Don't know if anybody picked that out. Let's see what folks are talking about over here in chat. Hussein X says he got his eyes lasered over 2 years ago. A new technique called Relax Smile, way better than LASIK. Superb results. But yeah, none of us want to get that laser surgery like when they first invent it. We want to wait about 4 or 5 years, make sure people know what they're doing here a little bit. And Paradise Decay says, at VR Game Rankings, doing daily videos. I can't keep up. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, Paradise Decay can speak to how many great games that we've gotten in just the last couple of weeks. It's been madness, really. It's really been madness. I'm playing some other stuff as well that, you know, I can't even talk about as well. I mean, there's still more games that are coming. You know, one thing I did want to look up is Zero Killed. Do you guys remember Zero Killed? So Zero Killed had a date of October 3rd for a long time. But I know I heard from somebody that this got delayed until November something. But I'm looking at the Steam page for Zero Killed, and it still says October 3rd. But it just says coming soon. This item is not yet available. So I think what happened here, I think this has been delayed into November. I don't know if there's a specific date in November that Zero Killed has been delayed to. But I know, isn't Zero Caliber November 9th? Wouldn't it be hilarious if Zero Killed and Zero Caliber are both November 9th releases, and they're kind of similar games very much. I mean, they both have you firing through rifles with scopes and all that type of thing, but Zero Killed, I believe it did get delayed. Don't have any other information as far as that goes, but that was going to be an October 3rd release. And there is like a beta thing that is going on for Zero Killed. I got into it for a minute. I went in there really late, actually, really late at night, and no one was in there, so I couldn't get into a multiplayer game. But all I did was basically walk around a level and fire a machine gun, and it looked really good. The graphics were really good. The sound was really good, but I have no idea how it plays. Scorpion 2 says Zero Killed, it just went off of beta, but I believe someone the other day was saying Zero Killed has been delayed till November, but I don't know if it's a specific date in November. So yeah, not sure exactly what is going on with Zero Killed. Chris Gold says, I am getting bored with Vox Machina. Still think it is fantastic, but that games need some progression to keep pulling you in. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played it in the last couple of days, Vox Machina, but I enjoyed it every time I played it. I mean, the worrying thing about Vox Machina, though, is because you don't have any kind of a single-player campaign, which they've got nice environments, they could, if only they could, like, create some kind of basic single-player campaign that you could also go into. You're limited to the multiplayer, and the multiplayer, while fun, there does seem to be some issue there with the depth of the gameplay in the multiplayer, because, I mean, or at least I just haven't figured out what a good strategy is, because every time I've been in Vox Machina, I will cause a lot of damage to some of these other mechs, but I also end up getting destroyed. My mech ends up getting destroyed ultimately. I have to eject, and then I have to wait for a new mech, and then it basically just becomes this game of, well, how many mechs can you take out before your ship goes out? So if you can take out 2 enemy mechs before you die, I guess that's a net positive, and that's how you win a Vox Machina game. And so, Chris Gould, I understand exactly what you're saying there, and if there's nothing beyond that, the one thing I would say, though, is maybe there has to be some way, somebody must be really good at Vox Machina that is getting way more kills than everybody else, and that isn't dying as much as everybody else. And so they're learning how to do something. So part of it is a case that we need to just get better, but part of it also is a case is that it kind of just boils down to just hail your missiles repeatedly, fire your lasers repeatedly, try to get lucky and kill 2 of their guys before you die. That seems like where it goes, and it's a little disappointing. Crunchy says the lack of a single player or co-op campaign is why I don't think Vox Machina is really worth it for him. And yeah, I mean, for $25, if you're not a multiplayer guy at all, I could definitely see how somebody could pass on Vox Machina. It's a shame too, because the cockpit, see, the real beauty, I think the real beauty of Vox Machina is the cockpit. all the little indicators and the control, how you control your mech, how you move around, your different abilities, and how it's presented in the cockpit, the sound, the audio, it all comes together really well. That little cartoon lady that is up in the corner that talks to you every once in a while, kind of the Max Headroom lady, it's all done very, very well. And the environments look really good. Some of them a lot better than others, but the environments are varied and interesting. And if they only had a little single player campaign that wrapped all that up together, and then also or if the multiplayer was just a lot better. I mean, the multiplayer is good, but it kind of, you know, I don't know, where's the depth there unless you really figure it out and learn some special techniques. Okay, so let's see. Is there another trailer I can throw on here? I'll just have to grab something miscellaneous. Don't have anything dialed up. Somebody was saying Accounting Plus is coming soon. Somebody said something about Accounting Plus in chat. Is there a date for this yet?
Hey, you want to be an accountant? Well, now.
I don't know that we have a date for that, but I know it's supposed to be coming very, very soon. So all of a sudden one day we're going to hear Accounting Plus is coming out in like 3 days or something like that. We're going to hear that real quick. So yeah, we do have Accounting Plus. I love this trailer. It is so colorful and so beautiful. Really nice trailer, really colorful, really vibrant. Bullet Ape says, I expected the point-and-click adventure to make a big comeback in VR. Sort of has with puzzle games, but not quite Monkey Island and stuff. Yeah, but if you could get into stuff like, have you tried Chiaro and the Elixir of Life? Because it's very much kind of that point-and-click game. And it's weird. Yeah, we've kind of gotten more into these room puzzle games like Red Matter, like The Gallery Episode 2, you know, all these different games where it's kind of like you're in a room, there's a puzzle, you got to solve the puzzle, then you get to go on to the next room. Lots of games like that. Torn is an example of that. Blind is kind of an example of that. So we've gotten a lot of games that are kind of going down that road, but they're not the pure point and click that you're thinking of. It's too bad that Telltale is gone. You know, the developer Telltale, making all those pancake games, they never got to transition over to VR. One thing I hope is that maybe some of the people within Telltale that really knew some good stuff, that maybe they get picked up by some VR companies. Bullet Ape says he hates the duck. Oh, so you are playing Chiaro and the Elixir of Life. Now, Chiaro and the Elixir of Life, $30. It is not cheap. It certainly isn't cheap. I thought it was pretty interesting. It's kind of cool, but not, I really probably would not recommend it at this point in time, because there's so many other places I'd rather throw my $30. But Bullet Ape, if you're a fan of those kind of games, I can see how you might latch on. Okay, he didn't get it as duck is an issue. Yeah, the duck is a bit of a, I don't know, the duck's an okay character. It's not too bad. I don't think that, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But anyways, let's see, what can we get into, guys? There's really not much news or anything. Let's see here. I thought maybe we could check out some of the big websites, see what they're talking about real quick. So let's go ahead and bounce over. This is kind of a shit show in case you guys haven't noticed. Energy is down, don't have much prepared. This will happen. Okay, so at Upload VR, they're talking about Oculus Quest, specs, price, release date, everything else. It's basically just kind of a wrap-up article there. The Moz dev, Polyarch, says that the sequel could feature non-linear elements and deeper combat, and it does need deeper combat. I think if there's a real negative on Moss, the combat is very simplistic there. And, you know, one of my biggest fears on Astro Bot was that Astro Bot would be too easy, and it is pretty freaking easy. So that is one of the disappointments there on Astro Bot. HTC Viveport president, subscription service needs its own Game of Thrones. No, what they need is software that people aren't afraid of. That's what they need. Fit is an amazing looking human Tetris using Vive trackers. So that's basically like those old, what was that old NBC show where you had to go through the wall? That's basically what that is. Adorable VR puzzler Squishies returns as a PSVR exclusive. Yeah, we did know about this. We saw a little teaser for that. So it's just a slow time right now. Let's see, was there anything else? Let's see, Road to VR. They talk about the Cybershoes thing. I'm just not into the Cybershoes, not really working for me. And not much else going on here at Road to VR. Let's see, we can go ahead and check out the subreddits real quick. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this one. Let's see, is it just graphics fidelity that is putting people off the Quest? I didn't know anybody was put off of the Quest. Seems like most people are excited about it. And not much else popping off. So this just might be a rather slow news day. Let me check the HTC Vive subreddit here. Looking for scary Halloween-themed games for a Halloween VR party? Well, of course, you can go ahead and pick up Drunkn Bar Fight Halloween. That's something you can screw around with a little bit. That is Halloween-themed. Jet Island. Get it, learn it, love it. Yeah, the second part, learn it. You need to learn Jet Island. If you learn Jet Island, you will like Jet Island a lot. If you don't learn Jet Island, you're probably going to think it sucks and think it's not a very good game, but it just has a bit of a learning curve there. And not much else is going on in the Vive subreddit. Let's check out PSVR. Is it all Astro Bot all the time? Pretty much. Astro Bot is great even for geezers like me. Eurogamer Astro Bot review, genuinely magical. It really is a magical game. It's a great game. It's one of the best. One of the best. I just went a bit overboard yesterday, so I'm just trying to back off of that a little bit, but it's definitely one of the best games. And just, yeah, it's just a whole bunch of Astro Bot love over there on the PSVR subreddit. All right, I'll take a quick check of chat and then go ahead and bounce out of here with a little bit of a shorter show today. Crunchy says, Telltale never upgraded their engine to include physics, and the developers had to manually make animations for the physics, so they were not going to VR. Yeah, well, maybe some of their producers, though, could sign up with some VR companies that know what the hell they're doing. And just in terms of, like, there is a genre in VR that is kind of more of a choose your own adventure genre, I think, is going to develop out of VR, and they could be kind of good for that. Oh, the trailer is drowning me out. I have the trailer volume really low. Don't know what's going on there. Let's see. Sar In says, Telltale was into stories. I really like their games. And Bullet Ape says, Jet Island is a bit of genius, but also a total mess. Conrad Lawrence blew his entire gaming budget on Forza. Forza Competizione, remember, October 10th. Or no, Assetto Corsa. Assetto Corsa is what I'm thinking. Forza Competizione. So you're talking like Forza Horizon 4, which just came out on Xbox, right? And Dr. Freeman says, you're doing a great job, Anthony. No, actually, this is a terrible episode. This is one of the crappy episodes. This is going to happen. I feel like this is just a bad episode today. And you know what? Sometimes I'm just not going to be in the mood and I'm not going to do a very good job. When you have a daily show, I do this thing Sunday, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week. And every once in a while, it's going to be like 11 a.m. and I'm not going to be in a right mood to do the show and I'm not going to do a good show. But I'm still going to try to do the best. And so I'll try to just do what I can. And then that's pretty much it. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and check out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. It is Thursday tomorrow, and hopefully a lot of new stuff to talk about tomorrow. And one of the more crappy episodes of recent memory, but, not that big of a deal. All right, folks, let's go ahead and bounce out of here. All right, yeah, definitely go ahead and check out the website when you get an opportunity. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, even though it's kind of crappy, still like it. And I will see everybody tomorrow on Thursday. So take it easy. See everybody then. Later.